Hello and welcome to the Unflatpack Online Assembly Academy. Today we're going to go over how to build a Moreno slider. The essential toolkit for building this wardrobe is a step ladder, a drill driver, a 5mm wood drill bit and a right angle screwdriver attachment, though if you don't have one you can use a stubby screwdriver. The build time should take you around about 80 minutes, though if you haven't done one before expect to take up to 120. Build the base first. Set it aside for 20 minutes and allow the glue to go off. The important parts when building the base is that you put the shorter section at the back, the longer section at the front, and make sure that the ends are flush when you leave it down on the floor to dry. Time for step 2. While your base is drying, let's build the sliding doors. Choose the biggest 2 door sides and the biggest 2 hangers and use those for the outer door. Use the 2 remaining door sides to make up the rest of the inner door, and remember the handle always needs to go on the left hand side, so check your orientation as you're building. Start by laying the door side out against the floor, fit the first panel flush against the end. Add each additional panel as you go along the door side, being careful not to twist the panels and break the glass that's on the other side. Butt them all up flush against each other. Find the correct small screws and fix them one at a time. As you fix them, make sure that each panel is flush and tight against the one before it. Go. Build the doors from left to right. On the left you leave the 2 holes for the bottom fitting, and on the right is the 6 holes. The screws are self-centering, and if you make a mistake and the gap opens, take the screw out, pull the panel along till it's flush and butted up, and enter the screw into the next hole into the centre. You can then reuse the screw into the old hole and it won't move it back. Fit the other door side by using a drawbridge system. Push it on at one end and slowly work it along, keeping your left hand pushing down at all times. Fit it right along and check it's flush at the end. Use the rest of the screws. Now to fit the door hangers, if your drill driver bit doesn't have enough length, open it up and extend it a few millimeters just to give you the extra length you need. This is a picture of the inside door built with the safety catches open. As you can see, one end is a flat fillet and the other end has an actual handle on it. Use the centre braces across the middles of the doors and use the self-centering screws to ensure they pull together. The wooden trim strips go at the top and the bottom of the doors. Be careful when attaching these as they're super sticky and it's a one-shot deal to get it right. Step 3. Assembling the frame. Let's take that base that we glued earlier and use it in the next scene. If you've got a side of a wardrobe that's going into a corner, start there and attach it to the base. Look how I've got my whole body round the piece of wood so it's not going to fall over as I get the screws and attach it through. Notice I've got my panel sitting there ready to go in. The closer you can make this wardrobe to the edge of the room, the better, especially on carpet. Now you'll notice I've got my drill right in here, but if you've got one of these 90-degree angle pieces, it really will make your life easier as you can start the project closer to the corner of the room and therefore you don't have to move it as far. If you only buy one extra piece of toolkit this year, make it one of these right angle bits. Fitting the back panel. Put the back panel clips in and put your screws in your hand before you start. Drill on your hip. Fit the back panel into the bottom groove first of all, it's vital you do it in this order. Slide it along into the side panel. This is all about the tapping and waggling of the back panel and the pressure exerted from your outside foot, as you'll see. Get the back panel into that groove and put your foot outside and apply pressure in towards that side panel. This will keep it sitting tightly in the groove as you put your screw in your drill gun and screw the clip into the side. Be really gentle when you do this and don't over tighten the screw because it will slip the thread and you'll have to redo the whole thing. Offer up the central panel along the back panel groove and slide it into position over any cams or plastic nubbins that are there. Again, using the same type of procedure, put your screw onto your drill gun, offer up the back panel clip and screw through slowly until it just touches and stop. Don't over tighten. If you over tighten, it will break off. Turn the back panel upside down and try again. On your top panel, in the centre, drill through and make a hole. You'll use this hole to screw back down into the unit once the top's up. This piece of rail won't be on here. This was a mock-up. Put the second back panel in place using the first method described. Again, it goes into the bottom rail, the bottom guide, slides along, and look where my foot is again, keeping pressure. Now tap and waggle and tap and waggle. Again, left foot pressure applied and screwing in gently until the screw's home and no more. Again, just showing you here the tap and waggle method to get that panel into the back. Sometimes you're going to need to put your hands around the back of the wardrobe, especially up the top once we go to put the top panel in. Finish off the sides with the screws needed. And as you can see, the bottom guide rail we've already put in place here, but you'll need to put that on. Now these are really important. They're the end receivers that hold the runner rail in place. This stops it from falling through the top of the wardrobe. And here's a picture coming up of what happens if you don't put these on. This wardrobe fell through. Here's the completed rail with the attachments at the end. See how they fit together. Now you can see we're tapping and waggling the back panel and keeping compression on the side to make sure that the parts come together properly. And here's that screw we talked about earlier going straight down into the central upright. With the last two screws in place, your frame is now complete. And you're ready to put the doors on. Attach the grey feet clips, hang the doors on, and put the bottom door clip guides in. Use your finger as a spacer and make sure they go in the right guide runners. Remember to always put the safety catches on both doors once you've finished, and your assembly should now be complete.